is Cole Yates. I work for Bearing Fruit Ventures. We own a company called Spoons Acai. We wanted to get into the acai world, and long story short, we acquired the Spoons company. During the acquisition, we identified several problems as they were not financially performing how they should have been. And one of those problems was that they didn't have an inventory management system in place, which means we weren't able to identify some of the largest areas of food waste, gap, theft, etc. that we may have been experiencing. You're essentially just throwing money out the door into the trash can. We knew that we just had to systemize, we had to get things streamlined, and we'd be golden. For where we were at as a business, a small business, only a few locations, MarketMan really stood out just because they were able to accommodate for building something from scratch. The interface seemed extremely user-friendly. They had integrations with our suppliers, they had integrations with our POS system, and it just seemed to be the best fit, as it allows us to first build out our recipes, build out our inventory system, both for any of the product and the fruit that we prep, as well as just for the items that we receive. Right now we do weekly counts with MarketMan, and we also do monthly counts with MarketMan for financial tracking. It takes the actual usage that you had versus the theoretical usage, so what you should have used, and it compares those numbers and tells you how off you are. I'd recommend MarketMan just because there's so many different tools, and they're certainly ahead of the mark compared to other companies. We wouldn't have been able to do it without MarketMan. If you're not tracking your inventory in the restaurant world and you're just best guessing, it's a really dangerous area to be in, and you're pretty lucky to make it out on the other side profitable without an inventory tracking system. So there's no question that there's plenty of things that made us profitable, but without MarketMan we wouldn't have been able to do it.
My name is Craig Goslin, and I am the head of hospitality at Redemption Roasters. So before we implemented MarketMan into the business, our stock management and stock controls were primarily done via Excel spreadsheets and that sort of thing. So we found Excel quite time consuming and inefficient to be able to manage large amounts of data, to be able to give us consistent and reliable reporting. Our managers and people in the sites were less engaged. The stock take and stock management process was quite cumbersome. So we use MarketMan in every single one of our sites. MarketMan really gives us ability to have a live finger on the pulse of what's going on in our business from a stock management and margins perspective. At the click of a button, we can see what products are selling. We can understand what stock levels we have on hand. We can really have a good bird's eye view of the stock that we've got, or the cash that we've got tied up in inventory at any given time. In terms of the features that have really made a difference for us over the last couple of months have been around implementing weekly disciplines, whereby we are counting our what we call high value or controllable stock items on a weekly basis. Once we've done those counts, we would generate a variance report, and that gives our managers and the team the ability to actually go and interrogate any of those stock variances. There's almost been a little bit of competitiveness between the different sites and different managers, where, you know, the guys are trying to see who can deliver the best result. I think in terms of the amount of time that our managers and the teams are actually spending on physically stock counts and inputting stock, I'd say we've probably saved around about 25% of the time spent on that. We're starting to yield improvements in gross margin or cost of goods by as much as 3% in some of the sites. We'd absolutely recommend MarketMan. We've found that the team have really been available to help us and kind of implement the solution into the business. Great solution, great team of people, and absolutely a pleasure to work with.